In a small village surrounded by lush mountains, there lived a young woman named Sarah, who often wondered about the nature of God's justice. One day, she faced a difficult decision that challenged her faith and trust in the Lord's plan. She remembered the words she had read in Psalm 19:8, which said, "The precepts of the Lord are right," and she pondered their meaning. Sarah believed that the Lord's ways were always just, even when she couldn't see the full picture. Her wise grandmother often told her, "The Lord will never forsake you nor punish you unfairly." One evening, as she sat by the fireside, her grandmother shared a story about a man who had strayed but was redirected back to the right path by God's loving hand. She explained, "When the Lord does discipline us, it is because He loves us and wants us to avoid greater harm." Sarah listened intently, feeling comforted by her grandmother's words and the conviction of God's mercy. As she reflected on the scripture, she realized that God's punishments are meant to guide, not to harm, but to bring us closer to righteousness. She recalled Psalm 19:8, which states, "The commands of the Lord are radiant, giving light to the eyes," affirming that God's guidance illuminates our way. Sarah understood that trusting in the Lord's justice means embracing both His mercy and discipline. She thought about how His grace is abundant, full of compassion and mercy, woven into His divine plan. Her heart was filled with a desire to inherit the promise of eternal happiness life, as God's love was so evident in His actions. One day, a neighbor's child fell ill, and Sarah prayed earnestly for God's mercy and healing. She remembered that the Lord's decrees are firm and righteous, and trusted that whatever would happen was for a greater purpose. In her prayer, she asked for patience and understanding, knowing that God's love would guide her through every trial. The next morning, she learned that the child was getting better, a testimony to God's compassionate mercy. This experience strengthened her faith that God's justice is always rooted in love and kindness. She always kept in her heart that the fear of the Lord is pure and enduring forever, inspiring her to live rightly. Sarah began to see every obstacle as a redirection from God, an opportunity to grow in faith and humility. Her faith grew stronger, and she shared her understanding with others in her community. She would often say, "The Lord's precepts are right and give joy to our hearts." Through her words and actions, she became a beacon of hope and trust in God's perfect justice. Many in her village found comfort in her unwavering belief that God does not punish out of anger, but out of love. She knew that even when facing hardship, God's radiance would shine through her faith, giving light to her eyes. Sarah's heart was continually uplifted by the knowledge that God's decrees are righteous and always for our good. She learned to seek God's guidance daily, reading His word and trusting in His divine plan. Her life became a testimony that divine justice, filled with mercy, ensures that no one is truly lost. In moments of doubt, she remembered Psalm 19:8 to remind herself of God's perfect precepts. Her journey was a testament to the power of trusting in a graceful God, full of compassion and mercy. With each step she took, Sarah felt more connected to God's eternal love and purpose for her life. She understood that the Lord's justice is intended to lead us to righteousness and everlasting joy. Her faith was unwavering because she knew that God's love never fails and His promises are sure. Sarah's story spread throughout the village, inspiring others to trust fully in God's justice and mercy. They saw her life as a reflection of the Psalm's truths, radiating joy and light to all around her. In time, Sarah became a spiritual leader, guiding others to understand the depth of God's love and justice. She often quoted Psalm 19:8 to comfort those losing hope, reminding them of God's radiant commands. Her words echoed the truth that all God's decrees are righteous and enduring forever. Through her testimony, many learned that God's discipline is an act of love, a redirection to the right path. Her life exemplified that trusting in God's justice brings peace, joy, and eternal happiness.